Hi, your friendly neighborhood gypsy here with Tracers Part 2. In Part 1, I showed you how to do a tracer using carbon paper. In Part 2, I'm going to show you what to do if you don't have carbon paper. Now, what we're actually going to do is we're going to kind of go back to my roots in tattooing. When I started back in 1976, we used to make acetate stencils. Acetate was a piece of thick, clear plastic. What we would do is we would lay that over the design that we wanted. Then we'd use an engraver and we would trace out the line drawing, the design. Then we'd take that piece of acetate, we'd sprinkle some graphite powder on it, we'd blow off the graphite powder, put a little thin Vaseline on the area that we were going to tattoo, then take that acetate stencil with the graphite facing towards the skin and we would apply it, pull the acetate stencil back, and that graphite was left on the skin. As tattooing progressed a little bit more, we started using hectograph pencils and tracing paper, just regular old-fashioned tracing paper. Nothing fancy. You've seen it. It's very thin paper. And we lay this very thin paper over the top of the design that we wanted to trace. We take a pencil and we trace out the design. Then we'd flip that tracing paper over and we'd use a hectograph pencil and we would retrace the design on the tracing paper. Now, if you're not familiar with a hectograph pencil is made from Ginsen violet. There are two types. There's the purple one and there's the green one. The green one is the one that we always use. That's the one that's made from Ginsen violet. Now, did I say the green one? I meant the purple one. The purple one is one we always use. That's the one made from Ginsen violet. The green was used very seldom. We hardly ever use that, but we always use the purple one. Ginsen violet is a medicinal plant. It's actually used to mark areas where surgeons are going to operate at. Nowadays they use a hectograph pen, which is like the pencil, except it's already liquid. You don't have to wet anything down to use it. But we used to use the pencil. That's what was available to us. After we traced out the design, we put a little, early days of tattooing, we put a little speed stick on the skin, and then we would take that design and we place it on there. When we pulled it back, we had a purple outline on there. As we learned more and more about cross-contamination, we threw out the speed sticks and we started using like green soap, tincture of green soap, to take and place those designs on there. That's not the point. What the point is that we're going to use that method, the method that we used to use for transferring a tattoo design to the skin using a hectograph pencil, to transfer this tracer onto your 11 by 14 or your 12 by 20 or whatever canvas size you're using. But I'm going to teach you how to use the same method without using a hectograph to transfer your design onto canvas. Now, what you will need is you will need a light table. If you do not have a light table, don't stress out, okay? I guarantee you everybody has a light table, and I will explain that here in just a few minutes, but we want to work with the light table first. So let me minimize myself and we will get started and I'll show you how we do this. Alright, I'm going to get small now. There I go. Tinier and tinier and tinier, and I'm up there in the corner. Now you can see this light table that I have here. I haven't turned it on yet. I love this thing. It's called the White Light Transluminator. Can you think of a better name for a light table than Transluminator? What it actually is, and you know what, honestly, I have no idea where I got this from. I can't remember. But what it actually is, it is it's an x-ray reader. You know, doctor's office, they used to have on the wall, they had the light and they stick the x-rays on there. You can see the bar right here. This was what they put the x-rays on so that the doctor could take a look at them. It's a perfect light table for me. Works great. I could go out to, Michael's or Hobby Lobby and get some small thing like this that's flat, but I like this one. It has character, it has class, so I use it. Now, like we did in Tracers 1, we have design sheet. In this case, it's going to be a Christmas tree, the magic Christmas tree. What I like about this particular one is that you can see here that it has two lines. It has blue lines here and it has red lines here. It makes it easier to line up. If you have a light what you do is you just bring them down, you line them up, and once you have them lined up, take a piece of Scotch tape, and you want to stick that Scotch tape down to hold it into place. Now, I will tell you, it's a good idea not to put the Scotch tape over what you're going to trace. If you put that Scotch tape over what you're going to trace, it makes it a little bit harder to trace over the Scotch tape. So try to keep it off of what you're going to trace. Now we have our design together. You can see the outline and everything here. Everything's lined up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over on the light table. We'll just take and flip that over. And you can now see that you can see the design just like you did on the other side. It's perfectly visible here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a charcoal pencil. Just a regular charcoal pencil. And what I'm going to do, starting at the top, because we don't want to smear the charcoal pencil, I'm just going to trace the design. Now, I will tell you that I am not going to trace these little add-on elements. Those are things that you can add on when you're painting. I'm just going to trace the main design here. What you want to do, though, when you do your tracing is make sure you stay right on the lines that are already there, because you're going to need to be on those lines when you do the next step in this process. So as you see, I'm just going over these lines. I'm going to come over here and do these. I should have done this side first. Shame on me. Always, if you're right-handed, always do your left side first. If you are left-handed, do your right side first. The reason why is because you do not want to smear this charcoal pencil across the paper. So you start at the top, you work your way down, do your left side first, which is what I'm doing. Do my left side first. It's just a simple matter of tracing and staying right on the line. If you go off the line, no problem, just go back over and do it again. I am actually, even though I'm a tattoo artist, you can consider me a professional tracer. I've been professionally tracing since 1976. That's basically what a tattoo artist does. A tattoo artist traces. They trace the main outline first. That's their, whether they're doing it in a heavy black or a different color, or whether they're doing what's called bloodline, which is, yes, I'm turning this here just to make it a little easier. Bloodline is just where you take basically a needle that's dipped in distilled water, and you go over the entire outline of what you're doing, so that you can go in there and you can add gray washes or whatever without having the black heavy outline. A tattoo artist is a tracer, is a professional tracer, but there are two types of people that tattoo. Well, three if you count scratchers, but we're not going to talk about unprofessional people on this little video. There are two types of people that do professional tattoos. There's a tattooist and there's a tattoo artist. A tattooist can take a design that is on a flash sheet or that someone brings into them, and they can duplicate that design exactly as it is seen. A good tattooist is a good thing to find because they can duplicate the design. The difference between a tattooist and a tattoo artist, which is the other type of professional, is a tattoo artist can take that same design and can take it to the next level, can take it a step up from where it actually is. And that's what makes them an artist. Anyone can sit down and paint a magic Christmas tree. But what makes it fun, and would make it fun for you in a paint party, is not just painting the design as it is shown, but taking it to the next level. Give you a good example of that, my daughter. I'm getting ready to have a paint party down at her home in Abilene, Texas on December 23rd. I put up several designs for them to pick from. My daughter said that she liked the snowman design. However, she really did like the tree design which is this one here, but it didn't have any lights on it. Well, that's easy to take care of. You put lights on it. Easy enough. You don't have to stick with just what the basic design is. You can take it anywhere you want to take it. You can change it up any way you want it. Make it your own. Don't just copy. Make the design your own. Make it pretty, make it beautiful, and make it uniquely yours. That's where the art comes in. And everybody, without exception, has been an artist in their life. When you were a child, you were an artist. As an adult, the trick is pulling out that inner child and remaining an artist. That's really all there is to it. Okay, now I have traced the design. I got this whole tree right here traced. Like I said, I didn't trace these elements here because those are the things that can be added in when you paint. It's been traced completely with the charcoal pencil. It's just a regular old-fashioned charcoal pencil. That's all it is. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to turn off the light table here. We're going to get our 11 by 14 inch canvas. We're going to put it down. This is the front side. This is the back side. This is the side we just traced. You see that is completely and totally traced. So we totally trace this. You can see what I was talking about the smears. You see these little smears on here. We want to try and stay away from those as much as possible, and charcoal has a tendency to do that. Now, take and put the side that you just traced. You want to take the side that you just traced and you want to put it down on your 11 by 14 canvas. Then what you want to do is take a little painter's tape and you want to attach this sheet to your 11 by 14 canvas. You want to use painter's tape for two reasons. First off, it's easy to remove and it won't rip up your template in case you want to use it over again. The other reason is it comes off clean. It's very easy to use. Okay, so we got that taped down to where it won't move. Remember, we use charcoal on the back side to outline that with. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our number 2 pencil, just a regular number 2 pencil, and I'm going to trace this whole design. So I'm going to, just like we did before, I'm going to start at the top, go work my way down. Add a little bit of pressure on the pencil when you do this. Not a whole lot of pressure because you don't want to like break through the paper and break through the canvas. But you do want to add a little bit of pressure. Make sure you go directly over the lines. So we're going to go down the left side. Right-handed, left side first. If you're left-handed, right side first. We're going to come down here. We're going to trace this whole thing out, just like we traced here a second ago on the back side. We'll get it traced out, and then I'll show you the magic as soon as we trace it out. You're going to go, wow, Gypsy, that is so cool. I'm going to say, yeah, I know, because I'm so cool. No, I wouldn't say that. But just using things you know in life, things that you've experienced, you'd be amazed what you can do. Little tweaks that you can make. Yes, I said the word tweaks. Tweaks is a word. Someone out there is going to correct me and say, no, it's actually tweak. Well, you say tomato, I say tomato. So, it's tweaks. Anyway, just follow your lines, same lines that you just did on the back side. And get that all traced out. You see it goes fairly quick. It don't take too long to do it. This process takes a little bit longer than doing a carbon paper tracing. But like I said, if you don't have carbon paper, this is your best bet. This is the thing that you want to do. Because this will get your design down onto the canvas and you'll be good to go and start painting. You know, paint parties are fun. Getting together with a bunch of friends, even people that you don't know, and painting together, it's a blast. But painting is very therapeutic, and it can really help clear your head sometimes. If you got a bunch of problems going on in your head, just sitting down doing a painting is extremely therapeutic. You don't have to do a paint party to do a painting. You can take a paint party painting and just sit down and do it by yourself, just because it is therapeutic, because it does help clear your head. On the Mad Hatter's website at artist-alley.net, we've got several kits that you can actually get that have different designs. It has the canvases already in it. You can buy a full kit, or you can go in and you can get just the instructions, the supply lists, the tracers, and video, a how-to video, and sit down and throw your own paint party by yourself. Or, for all that matter goes, invite some friends over. You know, you can do it yourself. You don't necessarily need me to do it for you, but I can guide you through it, even if I'm not there in person. So, we will help you on your artistic journey, because I believe everybody can create art. I hate it when I hear someone say, I have no talent, I'm not artistic at all. You don't have to be artistic to be an artist. You don't believe me? Have you seen some of the stuff that's out there that they call art? Or seen the banana duct tape to the canvas or to the wall, whatever it was, to the canvas? And they called that art. Personally, art's subjective. I don't call it art, someone else might. But everybody has a creative side. That's what being artistic is. It's just being creative. That's all it is. And you can always do something creative and artistic. Everybody has a talent. You just gotta know how to use that talent. And sometimes you need a little help along the way. And hopefully that's what I do here for you, is I help you along the way on your artistic journey. So I just traced the whole thing. It's all traced now with my number 2 pencil. Now let's see what happens when we remove. Let's talk about how easy it is to get the tape off, and now it's being stubborn. Let's take it from the front side. Let's find out what happens when we remove the tracer, the template as it was, from the 11 by 14 canvas. And there you have it. There is your tracer without using carbon paper. You got it right there. We traced it out, did it with a charcoal pencil. Now what you can do, if you want, is come back in here, use just your number 2 pencil again. If you think you need darker lines, just go back over these lines. You can see them there. Just go over them, darken them in, and you are good to go. I mean, it's really that easy, that simple. You know, you can go in and darken these lines up. But if you don't have carbon paper, this is a way to transfer the design onto the canvas. And when you're doing this, you're using an old school tattoo method for transferring a design onto skin. For a tattoo artist, the skin is the canvas. For you, the canvas is the canvas. But anyway, there you have it. That's how you do that, using a light table, charcoal pencil, and your stencil. Now, at the first of this video, you heard me say everybody has a light table. You know, don't go frantic just because you don't have a light table like what I have, my fancy transluminator here. Everybody has a light table. unless you live on a submarine or in a deep dark cavern or in a bank vault, I guarantee you, you have a light table. It's called a window. Like I said, unless you live in a submarine or in a cavern deep underground or in a bank vault, everybody has a window in their house. It is the original light table. It's as simple as using a light table. So, you have your design. You put your design up on the window, use a little painter's tape to hold it into place, because you don't want it to move while you're working on this. Come on, painter's tape, cooperate. My painter's tape decided suddenly not to cooperate with me. Look at that. There's a little piece up there. I can't believe that the painter's tape said, you know what, I'm going to be difficult. And it is. A little piece there and a little piece on the other corner, just so that it doesn't move on you. You really don't want this to move. Okay, so now you have your design up there, and just like you did, identical to what you did with the light table, you're going to use a charcoal pencil, and you're going to trace this whole thing out, just like you did. Oh, a little rip there. Just like you did on the light table. Go directly over the lines, and you want to follow those lines exactly, because as you did on the light table, when you turn it over, you're going to use your pencil and you're going to trace out to put it on the canvas. This is your light table if you do not have a light table. This will work every single time. A window. That's all there is to it. So, let's go back over to my art table and we'll finish up this little video. So my friends, I've shown you two different ways in order to take the template, the tracer as it's called, and transfer it over to your canvas. Tracers part 1, I showed you the carbon paper method. Tracers part 2, I showed you how to do it with a charcoal pencil. If you have any unique ways to transfer the design over to the canvas, I would be interested to hear them. There's also a thing called sublimation. Sublimation is where you actually print the design onto the canvas. You have to have a special printer for that, and there's actually people that do that in Paint Party headquarters. They tell you how to get a hold of those people and what they charge to do the sublimation. It's really reasonable. And if you yourself are throwing a paint party and you have a lot of guests coming, sublimation might be the way for you to go rather than sit there and have to trace them all out. But if you're just doing it for yourself or you're doing it for a couple of friends, you now know two ways to do it: carbon paper and charcoal pencil. I hope this has been of some help, and if it hasn't, you have my apologies, but I'm sure it has. Anyway, this is your friendly neighborhood gypsy saying, see you later, Gators. Bye-bye now. Hasta la vista, baby. Did I do that backwards? I think I did, but the sentiment is still there. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.